Hi there, Cheryl here, and even though I really love the cards that have all the shaped flowers and lots of dimension on them, I'm going to do one today that has just a little bit of dimension, and it can fit into an envelope and be mailed to somebody. I know, how weird is that? So let's get started on that. Let's see, this is what we're going to need. I have a piece of Whisper White Thick cardstock, and this is 6 by 9.5, and then it's scored and folded at 4 3/4. So it's going to be a 6 by 4 3/4 inch card, and it's a little bit of an odd size, but it will fit into a 5 by 7 envelope, so you can mail it. I have another piece here, and this is just a plain Whisper White. This is the regular thickness, and this is 3 5/8 by 4 7 7/8. And I have a piece of soft suede. This is 5 by 3 3/4. Bermuda Bay, 5.5 by 4 1/4. Those are the mats for the front of our card. And the inks we'll be using are Mango Melody. That's one of the new colors from Stampin' Up. Soft Suede and Bermuda Bay, two old favorites. I have this big old ball of, it's a hemp twine. I believe I found this in like the jewelry making section of my craft store. Then we're using Tombow, Snail, and two makeup sponges, because we're going to be doing some blending. And I'm using, on my card, I'm using this beautiful bird image, and these are coming from the stamp set Better With You by Stampin' Up. These flowers down at the bottom here. Oh, and also under these flowers, and this like a fabric-y kind of look stamp here. That's from Pressed Flowers, which is a hostess gift, and you can get that for free. With a $150 order, you get stamping rewards, and you can use that and get hostess gifts. And that's the Pressed Flowers. Pretty, huh? It's got a lot of other ones. Let me grab this real quick here. You see, there's the actual stamp set. It's got all different kind of wildflower stamps. And then our little sentiment here I took from Hand Delivered. I needed just a little tiny stamp, and it says, "Hope you feel better soon." So it's a get well card. And on the inside I didn't do anything, because I thought sure I ordered the Healing Hugs stamp set from Stampin' Up, but I did not. I haven't ordered it yet. It's on my list. But I want to put, if hugs and kisses could cure, you would be immune to everything. Feel better soon. So I wanted to use that on the inside. So for now, I have nothing on the inside. So I definitely need this stamp set. It's very nice. It's got one of those photo, like the photographic stamps, the rose and the leaves, and then it has just some other leaves and things here. But it also says, sending you the healing vibes, get well soon, wishing you a quick and complete recovery. And then it has like little star-shaped things over here. And that's on page 110 on the 2018-2019 annual catalog. So, very lovely stamps. By the way, in the catalogs, if you have a Stampin' Up catalog, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but the images in the catalogs, unless they say otherwise, are the same size as the stamps. So that gives you a very good idea exactly how big that stamp will be. So, just a little tip. So let's get going on the card. So we don't need a whole lot of things for this, but we do need some. So I'm going to start out with my Bermuda Bay. And I'm still using the old Stampin' Up! Ink pads for a lot of my colors. And we're going to divide this into about into thirds. So we want 1/3 on the top and 1/3 on the bottom. We want that colored in with the Bermuda Bay. And the center section here will be done with the Mango Melody. So we'll start out, and you want to just start out light. I don't know what that is. A little piece of debris. So always start out light with your shading, because you can always build on that. And once you have the color down, then you're stuck with it. Not much you can do once you get that on there. It is a dye-based ink, and it's there forever. Well, there are some things you can do, some techniques to lift the color a bit, and I do want to build and build and build on this, because I want some pretty good vibrant color towards the edge here anyway. And I'll just let it kind of fade out as I get closer to my 1/3 here. Okay, that looks pretty good now. We'll switch over here, get that other side done. And if you don't have a nice silicone mat like I have, you're going to want to have some paper or something underneath as you're doing this. As you can see, I'm making quite the mess here on my mat. And getting towards the middle. So we're going to just let that blend out. Okay. So we've got our Bermuda Bay done. I'm going to grab a baby wipe quick here and just wipe that off so we don't end up with Bermuda Bay where we don't want it. And then we'll go on to the Mango Melody. And these new ones, they're a little stiff when you're first using them. They say the ink pads will loosen up as you use them, but these, instead of a flip slide, these just open and then slide. I like that the Stampin' Up! Stamp pads when they're closed, they store your ink pad upside down. They store so that the ink rises or falls to the surface. And I'm just dabbing this out a lot on this is a good juicy stamp pad. It's fairly new. I think this might even be the first time I'm using it other than just to test it out. But, well, it'd be the second time I used it, because I made the other card, but it's still good and juicy, so I had to dab out a lot of that ink. So there we go. We've got that nice. Oh, it's such a pretty sunny color. It's not yellow and it's not really orange. It's just somewhere in between the two. And we're going to take that and we're going to actually overlap just a little bit there where we let our Bermuda Bay fade out. And there we go. So we've got our pretty background done. And let me wipe this up. And we'll get our stamps. If you hear jingling in my videos, that's my craft room assistant. That's my dog Pearl. She's a border collie, and she's one of those, I call them Velcro dogs. Anywhere I go, she goes. Okay, so now I have my soft suede ink out, and I'm going to bring my stamps in. Now, before I start it, I stamped the image of my bird on a piece of just very thin printer paper. Any thin paper will work though. And I fussy cut out around just the top. I could have did the whole bird, but I was lazy. And I just did the top. And I put a little bit of Darice. The company Darice makes a repositionable tape. Maybe other people do too. I don't know. But this is what I always get because it's very inexpensive. And I put a little bit of that on the back, and we're going to use that. We're going to mask the bird off. So I'm going to start with my bird. And I'll ink that little guy up. He's such a little cutie. He's such a fat little bird. I love him. And we're going to position him. I wanted his head more in the blue and his breast more into the mango color. So we'll put him right there. And let that ink transfer and straight up. And there's our cute fat little bird. And then I need my mask. I'm going to put that down right over top of my little bird and that stem there. And we'll be using this design, this pattern that was in that stamp set also. And let's see. Right there looks good. And then I think I want a couple more of those little shapes on here. So I'm going to very carefully just ink the one of them. There's one that's like off by itself here. And should I do another one? Nah, that's good enough. So we'll take that off. And now it looks like the shapes go behind the bird. Next we'll do the bottom part here, and I'm using this stamp that has that wonderful, lovely fabric-y texture. And it's a rubber stamp, so it's it can be a little difficult to line up. So what I do, as I'm bringing my stamp down, I put my head down, look from the side on here, so I can kind of see if I'm stamping on the paper or not. And there's my first stamp. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make another row. Ink that up again. And I'm going to try to line that up with the first one. And there we go. We'll do that one. And it overlapped a little bit. You can see it's a little darker, but you know what? That's okay. We're going to hide that. That's where we're going to put our twine. So now we'll add our flowers. Ink those up. This is all with the soft suede. And put them right in here. Like that. And then there's this other one. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's kind of just more leafy with small flowers on it. We're going to add that in here. Do that a couple times. We're going to put that facing one way, and then we're going to tip it a little bit and have it leaning in the other way so it doesn't look exactly the same. We don't want it looking like a bunch of little soldiers all lined up. And then I'll stamp the sentiment. And hopefully I'll get it straight. It's a little hard to do with the videoing because the camera is right where my head wants to go. I'm going to pick this up, wipe that all up, and we can put our card together. We'll bring in our Whisper White cardstock, and this would be the time you want to stamp your inside sentiment if you're going to stamp it directly on the base. I might put another little piece of paper in there with whatever, with the sentiment once I get my Healing Hugs set. But now I've made just a little bit of a step up on the card, so let's put the Bermuda Bay down first here. And I just use my Tombow. The Tombow is good to use for doing this type of thing because you have a few seconds to move your cardstock around if you need to, if it's not lined up properly. And then these two will go together. We'll put that onto our soft suede background, or matte. And I think I might be going to run out of time on my video. So let me put that down. On here. There we go. And I'm going to stop the video. I'm going to cut my pieces of the hemp twine that I have, and then we'll be back in just a minute to finish the card up. Okay, so I've got my little pieces of my twine cut, and I also cut myself a little piece of just the lightweight cardboard. Incidentally, this is very good granola. I like it a lot. Apple walnut granola from Simply Nature. This is from Aldi's, if you have an Aldi's store near you. So I'm using trash on my card. I just wanted to lift it just a tiny little bit because, you know, we do want to send it through the mail. So let's put our twine on. I'm going to turn my card over, and down here on the bottom where I'm going to have the twine coming around to the back, I'm going to put just a couple strips of the tape. I'll put my first piece on here and get that coming across there straight, and you see that's covering up that little area where the stamp overlapped. And I'm going to fold that over, and that just sticks to the tape wonderfully. I'm going to do the same thing with the next one. I'm just going to place that right next to the first one. Bring it around. And hold that down taut. You don't want it so tight, though, that it bends your cardstock. And I'll just put that down. Oop. This side came off. Let's put that back in place. Stick down there a little piece of twine. And we'll do the next one. Just line those all up right next to each other. And I want to make sure all those are stuck down good on the back. Stick down there. My twine is not behaving. There we go. Okay. So just to make sure that it's going to behave, I'm going to put Tombow on it. See that? We're going to put Tombow right over top of it. Tombow all the way around the sides here. And that will make sure that it behaves itself and stays down. We're going to take our little piece of cardboard, and I cut this just a little bit smaller than that piece of soft suede, you see? And we'll get that all stuck down real good. Then you see a little edge there? I just cut it just a smidge smaller. How big is a smidge? Maybe a 32nd of an inch if you want to measure. So we have our twine. I want to put a little bow on there on the front too. So we'll thread our fourth piece of twine here through. I'm going to tie one nice tight knot. And I'm going to tie it a second time, because if we make our bow right now, it's going to be crooked. Put another nice tight knot there. There. Make our loops. See, this is a very simple little card to make. And we'll fiddle around with the bow a little bit here. I just want a little bow. And we want that tightened down real good. Don't want it coming undone. Oh, just fiddle with it a bit. And let's see, we can trim off a little bit of these ends. This would make a nice card even if it was a man you were sending it to. Could be a birthday card. I made it a get well soon card. And I found I obviously don't have enough. That's not what I wanted. Sentiments for get well. So underneath my twine, I'm just putting the tiniest little bit of tape, because I want that to stay in place. There we go. Okay, so now we got our little bow. And we're ready to put that on the card. Tombow again. So we have a few minutes to line it up. I got a little carried away there, got too close to the edge. I'll just wipe that off, because Tombow will stay sticky. And center that. And our card is finished. And if there are any stamping up products that you'd like to purchase today, then you can do that either through my Facebook page or my website. I'd be so thrilled if you used me as your demonstrator. If you have any questions or comments, then be sure to leave those down below. If you've liked this video, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more of these videos that I put out, then be sure to hit the subscribe button. So, I hope you don't need this card for yourself, but if you do, I hope you feel better soon. And you all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.